Hi, my name is Mark, and today I'd like to unbox the prototype of Blasphemous, the board game. Prototype I got from Ludus Magnus for a preview. Thanks a lot for sending it. The Blasphemous, the board game, is currently on GameFound. You will find link in the description of the video. The campaign, crowdfunding campaign, is already live and the game is already funded. I want to show you what's inside this prototype because it's really well made. You will see in a second a lot of great miniatures, cards and everything. The game looks really cool. And this is like a, you can say, fantasy, in a way, adventure, combat, boss battling game based on Blasphemous, the video game. And at least the prototype here is not a cooperative game, which is quite interesting because a lot of fantasy games I played, adventure games, are cooperative games, and this one is not. Players will compete with each other with reaching the final goal of the game. So let's unbox this game. Of course, I will make another video quite soon with my impression of the game, my opinion on this prototype. But let's unbox this box here today. So let's unbox this prototype of Blasphemous, the board game. Yes, this is a prototype. Please remember that some components and elements and cards and everything can change in the final version of the game. This is also not the complete game because this contains only one, you can say, scenario for reviewers to try. But even though this is a prototype, it looks really great, and that's why I want to show you what's inside. Because in the other video that I will make, where I will tell you how the game plays and what I think about it, there will be no time to show you all the components in detail. First, you have the rulebook. It's nice that it's printed because sometimes in prototypes the rulebooks come in the form of a PDF. This one is printed. It's got 23 pages, so you could think it's not that much, but these are not all the rules, rather a description, what are the components and more or less how the game plays. And then you have this second rulebook. It's rules compendium, a smaller one with 34 pages, where a lot of mechanics and elements of the game are described in detail. So this one gives you a general idea how the game plays. And here you will find more specific information about different elements of the game. Now we have four smaller booklets, and those are the booklets that you will read during exploration. There is some story in this game, and when you go to a location and you explore it, you will roll a die, and depending on the result, you will read the specific paragraph in those books. 4 of them are connected with a specific location, and one is more general with encounters and exploration in other regions. Sorry, I'm not sure if the final edition of the game will have more of those booklets or not, but for now we have 4 of them. Here we have 4 player boards. Here we have space. They are kind of dual layered. I suspect that in the final edition of the game they will be dual layered, but they are still recessed here, so when you place a card or a token, it doesn't slide on the board. You have space for your character card, and you have different tracks with fervor that you can spend to trigger some abilities on your cards, life points and tears. Life points is your health, tears are used to, it's a currency in the game, and you can spend it to buy vestige card. Here is it's called, I think, destiny. And this value, you will add value of this attribute when you roll dice during exploration to read those paragraphs here. Here you have pain, and pain, when you fail a test, you increase the pain, and then when the pain track is full, you can spend it, for example, to get a new card for your character as a reward for being unlucky. And here are whispers that are used in a specific scenario-specific situations. So we have 4 player boards. Let me put it somewhere here. There are a lot of components in this game, even though this is a prototype. Here I have a smaller board that is used to track It's called Fate board, I think. I'm sorry if I named something not right, but here basically you replace cards of different enemies in the game that you will be able to fight and encounter. Here is space for their cards, and here is space for rewards that you will gain for defeating those enemies. And here are different types of this. They are called vestige cards that you will be able to get to increase your abilities and increase or modify your dice. So this is one board, and here is a huge board because this is the main board of the game board. I will try to open it somehow. I'm not sure. It will not fit in the frame, but basically apart from different spaces to place cards like setup card, behavior card of the nemesis, pilgrimage, personal quest, and here you can place enemy deck. Here you will have different locations, and you will, in this game, you will move from location to location, you will fight enemies, you will explore, you will try to complete quests, and then you will try to encounter Nemesis, the final boss in the game. The artwork is really nice. Different locations, they have different numbers and different actions that you are able to perform in those locations. And here on the top of the game board, a space for quests, public quests that all players will be able to fulfill and complete to gain the rewards. And here is space to place cubes to track which player completed which quest, or you will be able to track rather not the what quests are completed, but rather what is your progress in different quests. Really cool. And here we have even more components, like this is the those are the elements used for the I'm not sure how you call it, the Nemesis board, the encounter board, when you fight Nemesis. And let me show you the Nemesis. This is like this huge boss in this scenario in this game. This one is called Ten Piedad. Your goal is to defeat this villain, and when you encounter this this character, this boss on the board during the game, then you will fight it, and you will place it on a special board. You will place your characters on this board, and it's like a tactical board used in combat where you fight bosses. There is only one boss in the prototype, but in the final game there will be more for sure. You have two sides of this board. Here we have some components, like we have different tokens. I will not open this back. We have, or maybe I will. But basically, here are different tokens that you will use to track different quests on the board. We have the 10 die used during exploration. Here we have some cubes and player-specific components, like this flask that you will be able to use to heal, and you have cubes to track your different attributes on your player board. But the most fun thing here are the player dice. Each player gets, let me show you. Each player gets dice, and those are your starting dice that you will be able to roll during combat with boss or different enemies, but those dice are upgradable. And let me show you how it works very quickly. Even though this is a prototype, it works really, really well. Here you have the whole bag of different sides for your dice. And let's say that in the game you have gained a card that allows you to add this side to your die. So you will look at one of the sides that you want to remove. For example, this one gives you this attribute, one hand, and here you have two hands and one fervor. So you will use, I'm not sure how it will look in the final edition of the game, but in the prototype you have to use this tool to remove this side, and then you can place new side here. And this is your modified die that is better than previously, and during the game you will gain more cards that will allow you to modify those starting dice with new sides. And this is very cool, but this is also very important because during the game you will not be able to defeat the more powerful enemies and more powerful, or the bosses, without upgrading your dice. So upgrading your dice is crucial if you want to defeat the boss and some enemies. So each player has got dice in the player's color. And here we have guild tokens that sometimes you will gain in the game, and they basically lower your stats. So they look like this. As you can see, as I said, this is a prototype, but everything looks really, really nice. And without knowing that this is a crowdfunding game and it will get more content, you could say that this game looks like a final edition of the game. Now let me show you some miniatures. This is the main boss that you will fight in the prototype, in the only scenario that is in this prototype copy. But here we have even more different enemies, and they look amazing. I have to say that the miniatures in this game are one of the most cool miniatures I have seen in a while, basically because they depict some really strange and sick and twisted, characters. Like here you have this guy with a small doll or a small childlike character, and this giant is holding a deer or a goat. So this is really crazy, but I understand that those enemies are to be found in the digital version of Blasphemous, the game that this board game is based on. And Blasphemous was a game with really cool artwork and design. So all those arts on the cards that you will see in a second and the miniatures, they are based on the on the enemies and artwork from the video game. Really, really nice. I have to say that Ludus Magnus, when they make prototype copies, I had a chance to play some of their prototypes in the past. They always had so nice miniatures, even for a prototype copy. I think this is one of the bigger enemies, boss-like enemies, but I think, I'm not sure, 100% sure, but I don't think we have cards to use those miniatures in this prototype, but they included it, so you can see some sneak peek how it will look like in the final version of the game. We have those crazy minotaurs or some sort of characters. Really, really nice. What else do we have here? Here we have cards, and most of the small cards here are I'm not sure if the name is right, vestige card, but basically cards that there are 3 types of those cards. The red one, green one, and the, let's say, blue one. And you will get those cards as a reward, or you will be able to buy them during the game, and they will improve your characters. They will give you some additional abilities that you can use by spending fervor during the game. They give you some passive abilities that will, trigger when you do the thing written on the card. And then there are the red cards that will allow you to add different sides to your dice and to modify your dice. So this is really, really cool. Here we have a bag with location tokens. There's even a bag with printed logo in this prototype. So this is really cool. And here are basically tokens with different locations that are needed to, randomly place stuff on the game board. So you'll use this bag. And here we have even more cards, and those are the big cards. Here are cards for your penitents, for your main characters. Each player has got 3 of them, and you can choose the one that you like for a given game. I think that you can even change them during a scenario. I'm not 100% sure. I played this only once with a friend. I plan to play it more now when I have the prototype in my hands. But you have different types of characters. They have basic stats and basic abilities, basic resistance to different types of damage. Really cool artwork. Then you have personal quests that you will be able to acquire during the game and complete, and then you will get some bonuses for completing those quests. Okay. Now we have enemies, and they are double-sided because the enemies with the red background are the more dangerous one. The game recommends you to start with the basic enemies, but if you want more challenge, you can use the side with the red background for a more difficult game. So amazing artwork, different types of enemies. I will not explain basically in details how the game plays. You will have to watch or wait for my second video. But for now, you can see the amazing art. And of course, those are not all the enemies that you will get with the game, because I already seen the game found campaign of Ludus Magnus, because it's already live, and there are already a lot of stretch goals included, more cars, more enemies, more everything. So this is just like a small, you can say small part of the whole game. And here you have public quests that you will be able to complete to gain some rewards. Okay, really cool art. And those cards with this 10 Piedat are the cards specific to this, you can say, scenario. Pilgrimage cards are the like reward cards that you can get during exploration, that will also give you some bonuses in the game. And here are the combat cards for the boss. You have to defeat the boss a few times. I think, if I remember correctly, 2. You have to defeat him twice in a regular combat and 1 in the more difficult one to win the game. I will explain those cards in the second video, but basically you have to know that those are the combat cards for the main boss in this prototype. But that's not it. We have even more miniatures here below. This plastic insert is not perfect, because I think this is a plastic insert from another game that Ludus Magnus had placed here to somehow organize the miniatures. But let me show a few more miniatures. This is one of the enemies in the red hood. Here we have a lady with a shield and a sword. Really nice sculpt. Cool. And here we have the main heroes. They look really nice. The miniatures are awesome. I think they are 3D printed, but still they look really cool. Okay, so this is number 2. Oops, number 3. You have to be careful because it's quite sharp, really nice. And this is the last one. Amazing sculpt. Cool. So this is basically the content of the prototype of Blasphemous, the board game. As I said earlier, I will make another video in the future quite soon, because I want to make the second video before the game found campaign for this game ends. You will find links to the campaign in the description of the video, of course, together with links to all my social media channels and profiles. Thanks for watching this video, and see you in the second Blasphemous video quite soon. Bye.